Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. Hello, viewers. Welcome once again to my channel. My name is Muhammad Atiq Anwar, and you're watching my channel, Muhammad Atiq Anwar, and Education for Us All. So, surprise, surprise, it's another drive. Hopefully, it's a nice, easy one for me. Once again, it's in my area. It's something I've done before, but people saying they want more information about this particular thing, and to cut it short, the thing is the Gibbet on Gibbet Street. So it was a very unusual thing in its time, because nowhere else had such a thing. Okay, such a punishment, shall we say. Okay, so there's information about it, and the task is to read that out into the video, and further to try to translate it. So my good sister Tamina has made that request, as have a number of other people, but as always, because that's someone I'm in communication with quite a bit, I always try to fulfill her requests. नाज़रीन खुश आमदीद। आज की वीडियो जो है वो उम्मीद है आपको बहुत इंटरेस्टिंग होगी। जैसा मैंने पहले भी एक वीडियोस पे बनाई है, हमारे टाउन में एक क्या कहें सज़ा वाली जगह है, वो पुराने ज़माने की सज़ा वाली जगह है जिसे जिबेट कहा जाता है। तो पुराने ज़माने में छोटी से छोटी जराइम पर ये सज़ा थी कि मुजरिम का सर काटा जाए। ओके, तो इसकी हिस्ट्री वहाँ लिखी हुई है एक प्लाग पर, तो रिक्वेस्ट है कि वो पढ़ी जाए, रिकॉर्ड की वीडियो की जाए। और मेरी सिस्टर जो अक्सर फरमाइश करती हैं और मुझसे कम्युनिकेशंस रखती हैं, उन्होंने फरमाइश की है कि उसकी ट्रांसलेशन करने की कोशिश करें। जैसा जानते हैं मेरी उर्दू इतनी अच्छी नहीं है, बहरहाल मैं कोशिश जारी रखता हूँ ताकि ऑडियंस को जितनी मालूमात हो सकती है वो पेश करूँ। Okay जी, let's make a start. Going to turn the camera around. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Bismillah. Tawakkaltu ala Allah. We're going to follow our usual route, viewers, out of the railway station and towards Cow Green, and then on to Pella Lane. And there is a street that takes us directly to Gibbet Street. It's called Bedford Street, so that is the route that we will be taking. Okay, so rather an overcast day, but never mind. There is rain forecast for later, so I thought I would make the video today. Traffic lights rather long time. वाइंडिंग रोड, एक दफ़ा फिर इसके एंड पे जाएंगे ब्रॉड स्ट्रीट, तो फिर काउ ग्रीन तक, तो वहाँ से राइट होकर पेला लेन पर तकरीबन 500-600 मीटर जाकर एक स्ट्रीट आएगी, उसका नाम है जी बेडफोर्ड स्ट्रीट। तो उस पे है जी हमारी लोकेशन आज की, द जिबेट। So slow progress as always. We've got temporary traffic lights all over Halifax. So we're just passing the bus station, and they're working on the footpath now, so I'll turn the video off and till Broad Street. So we're a little bit further on Winding Road. Hopefully this time we will be able to turn left. Broad Street. So it's taking around about 10-15 minutes to get out of town. Turning will be right into Bella Lane. We are approaching Cow Green. Cow Green. And the traffic lights have changed, luckily. Successfully on to Bella Lane, which is busier than I expected. Never mind. So I think it is the next left into Bedford Street. Bedford Street is just this next one, and of course Denholm and the Home Market. Okay, so we shall try to park at the end of the street and then come back towards the Gibbet. So just after this reddish building is the Gibbet. This is Bedford Street, and of course the first crossing is Gibbet Street. So the Gibbet is just here on the left. ये है जी हमारी डेस्टिनेशन. सो पार्किंग स्पॉट की तलाश करते हैं तो फिर आपको दिखाएंगे जिबेट और इसका इंफॉर्मेशन. Just show you where we are. We're on the other side of Lister Lane. This is Bedford Street. We're at the back of this carpet warehouse. We need to go back this way, and it's just across. Show you once again, that's where we parked, and we're going towards Gibbet Street, and the greenery you see there is our destination, the Gibbet. Okay. Hopefully you can see it from here. नाज़रीन ये है जी जिबेट स्ट्रीट. नीचे से भी हम आ सकते थे मगर अब रोड वर्क से तो फिर इस रास्ते से आना पड़ा. तो ये है जी जिबेट स्ट्रीट, and that goes for at least 2-3 miles up there. That is our destination. So let's show you more of that and then read the information. This is the gibbet, guys. Okay, so I just walk around the barrier so that you can see. So this is the base, and then the actual construction itself. So you can see that the blade would come down from there, and the criminal would lay their head there, and it would be separated from the rest of their body. So these are the steps that lead to the what can we say, punishment point, where the head is laid, and that is where the blade comes from. Okay, so as I say, there is information over there, and the task is to read that information. So as you can see, this is the plaque with the history of the gibbet, and I'm going to try to read it. Okay, the Halifax Gibbet. Okay, here you stand at the site of the great heartbreak and tragedy where many met a violent death. नाज़रीन, वे ये वो जगह है, यहाँ क्या कहें, सैकड़ों लोगों की मौत हुई. ये देखो जी, ये प्रॉपर उसकी डायग्राम है. Okay, 400 years ago, a phrase referring to the extreme form of punishment practiced here was first printed. John Taylor, who lived from 1578 to 1653, the London-based water poet, recorded the so-called beggars' literary from Hull, Hell, and Halifax, good Lord, deliver us, in a poem published in 1622. Along with this phrase, Taylor described Halifax's horrific instrument for the execution of thieves, which he termed as gin. Then later in 1639, Taylor visited Halifax to view for himself this execution machine, which today we term the gibbet. नाज़रीन, ये लिखा हुआ है कि आज से 400 साल पहले एक फ्रेज़ होता था जो क्या कहें, क्रिमिनल्स कहते थे. अच्छा जी, ये फ्रेज़ है गॉड हमें होल जो एक शहर है, जहन्नम और हैलिफैक्स से बचाना, क्योंकि यहाँ की ये जो सज़ा ये बहुत सख्त थी. तो फिर ये एक पोइट है जिसने ये अपनी किताबों में लिखा था 1622 में, और फिर वो यहाँ आकर विज़िट भी उसने किया, तो उसकी किताबों में लिखा हुआ है. एक और आगे पढ़ते हैं. An earlier visitor to this area in 1580 and 1590, historian William Camden also recorded Halifax's gibbet law in the famous work Britannia. However, the earliest mention of the gibbet in print was made in 1577 by Raphael Holinshed in her Chronicles. Okay, इससे पहले भी कुछ नज़मों में इसका ज़िक्र किया गया, और तारीख़ की किताबों में ये जो हिस्टोरियन है विलियम कैम्डन, और इससे पहले जो है तारीख़ वो 1577 लिखी हुई है. But what was the gibbet? How did it originate and how did it work? Okay, फिर ये डिस्क्राइब करेंगे कि ये क्या चीज़ थी और कैसे काम करती है. The jurisdiction of gibbet law only applied within the confines of Sorbishire, an area of which Halifax was a part. The custom's origins are obscure, but from at least the 13th century, the Lord of the Manor of Wakefield had the authority to execute any thief who any thief caught with stolen goods to the value of 13 pennies or more on their person, or who confessed to having stolen goods on their of at least that value. नाज़रीन, ये एक स्पेशल लॉ था जिसे जिबेट लॉ कहा जाता है और वो इस इलाके पर सिर्फ लागू था। उस टाइम की जो बाउंड्री थी उसे सॉर्बिशायर जो हैलिफैक्स का हिस्सा था, और जो इन्हें लॉर्ड ऑफ द मैनर कहा जाता है, यानी बहुत बड़े बड़े जगीरदार और इनकी बहुत ज़मीनें थी, उनकी तकरीबन हुकूमती समझे। तो जो बड़ा इलाका था वो वेकफील्ड था, तो इनके मुताबिक ये सज़ा कायम की गई। तो अगर आपने 13 pennies 13.5 pennies चोरी किए तो फिर ये सज़ा लागू थी। Okay, having been condemned, the criminal was then taken to the gibbet to have their head cut from their body. This was a remarkably severe form of punishment for theft, while decapitation was used as an occasional method of execution in other parts of England. Halifax did so by employing an execution machine apparently unique to the country. The gibbet consisted of an axe head fitted to the base of a heavy wooden block, which ran in grooves between two 15-foot 4.6 meter tall upright posts mounted on a stone base about 4 feet 1.2 meters high. A rope was attached to the block over the pulley, allowing for it to be raised, following which the rope was secured by attaching it to the pin of the base. Once the condemned person was laying in place, the block carrying the axe was then released by either withdrawing the pin or by cutting the rope. It was the weight of the unsharpened axe blade which chopped off the condemned person's head. In effect, the Halifax Gibbet was an early form of guillotine, although the two instruments were not directly related. नाज़रीन, ये ब्लेड का फ़ोटो है, तो इसे इस फ्रेम के ये ऐसे ऊपर लगाया जाता था। ये देखो जी, ये रोप है, तो यहाँ से या ये काटा जाता था या यहाँ एक पिन था, तो फिर मुजरिम का सर यहाँ था, तो इसे नीचे आकर उसका सर काटा जाता था। Okay, are we ready? Women as well as men were executed. In 1627, 2 females died here. The first recorded execution was in 1286, although we cannot prove that the early executions were on gibbet. The instrument of death continued to decapitate petty criminals until 1650. It was under Commonwealth rule that the practice was ordered to be discontinued. We know that the wooden frame was actually taken down between executions. Following the last execution, the gibbet was dismantled and its site neglected until the platform was discovered in 1839. This was eventually restored in 1976, a non-working replica of the gibbet being erected thereon. नाज़रीन, ये और दूसरी मशीन जैसे गिलोटीन कहा जाता है वो तकरीबन सिमिलर ही थे. ओके जी, यहाँ लिखा हुआ है कि लास्ट एक्सिक्यूशन के बाद जो है वो हुकूमत के कानून के मुताबिक ये फिर सज़ा ख़त्म की गई थी. तो फिर ये क्या कहें, ये जगह अबैंडन हो गई. तो फिर where was the date? 1839 में जब क्या कहें कोई कंस्ट्रक्शन हुई तो फिर ये जगह मिली. तो 1974 में जो आप देख रहे हैं रेप्लिका, ये बनाया गया. The gibbet blade from 1650 survives and is in the care of Calderdale Council Museums, who frequently exhibit the grisly article. नाजरीन, जो असल ब्लेड है वो अभी भी exhibitions पे दिखाया जाता है. Okay, so the legend of the running man. The gibbet was located around 500 yards from the boundary of its jurisdiction. The story goes that if the condemned person could escape by removing their head from the block after the pin had been withdrawn and managed to cross the boundary, which is the Hebel Brook, they could not legally be brought back to face punishment. An escape of this kind by a man named John Lacey is reported in 1650. Unfortunately for him, upon his return to Halifax 7 years later, Lacey was rearrested, and this time he did not escape the axe blade. There was no first-hand account of this event, and it was only recorded much later, but the story persisted and Lacey became known as the running man. When Celia Fiennes visited Halifax in 1698, she recorded in her diary her belief that such an escape was impossible. Following a stay in Halifax 20 years later, Daniel Defoe, in his Tour Through the Whole Island of Great Britain, published in 1724-26, also mentioned the story by adding that the incident was too long ago to have any vouchers, though the people indeed all receive it for truth. Okay, so नाज़रीन, ये एक क्या कहें लेजेंड, जैसे कुछ लोग मानते हैं कुछ लोग नहीं. तो स्टोरी ऐसे थी कि जो अगर ब्लेड गिरने से पहले मुजरिम भाग सकता था तो फिर आगे जो जगह है उसकी और बाउंड्री है तो फिर वो क्या कहें आज़ाद हो सकता था. तो ये एक मिसाल है एक शख्स की जिसने ऐसे किया था, मगर वो एक बार फिर पकड़ा गया 7 साल बाद. ये जो है ये राइटर्स सीलिया फिनेस और डैनियल डेफो, ये मशहूर राइटर्स हैं, तो इनके राइटिंग में भी इसका बयान किया गया है. ओके, I don't think I've missed anything else. नाज़रीन, जैसे मैंने बताया, I think so, मैंने मेंशन किया कि ये कुछ ख़वातीन भी यहाँ execute हुई थी. Okay, finally we have a list of some of the people that were executed. So we've got records going back to 1286. These are only ones that we know about. And as I say, it was finished in dismantled in 1650. So the last man was John Wilkinson Menway and Anthony Mitchell, both of Soby. Okay, and they were the last to be beheaded. Okay, so I do hope you found that interesting. So that's the end of another video, viewers. I do hope that you found my reading of the plaque interesting, and the information was of great interest to you. So once again, make the plea, please keep watching. Please watch the playlist as well. As always, the watch time is very, very poor, so please help. तो नाज़रीन, आज की वीडियो यहाँ ख़त्म करते हैं। यहाँ अब बारिश भी शुरू होने वाली है। उम्मीद है कि आप जो मैंने ट्रांसलेशन की उससे एंजॉय किया होगा। हम सॉरी जो मुकम्मल ट्रांसलेशन नहीं कर सकता, मगर मैं अपनी कोशिश की है। ओके जी, अपना ख्याल रखना, दूसरों का ख्याल रखना, दुआ में याद रखना। अल्लाह हाफिज़।